now begin the public comment period, which is limited to a maximum of 30 minutes. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. And speakers cannot yield or transfer their time to another speaker. Our first speaker today is Patricia Tatum.
Good afternoon. My name is Patricia Tatum. I'm a resident of 24, and I'm here to support the South Shore TGA ordinance, which includes housing protection, the South Shore, and the HMI on 5030 Blackstone that be used for affordable housing. In 2020, the Woodlawn Housing Preservation Ordinance was passed. Some provisions that have been really helpful and useful in the community are the homeowner repair grant. Many of the long-term residents in Woodlawn are on fixed income. They lived here a long time but were unable to do the repair needed for their homes. And I'm sure that this is the same problem that many people in South Shore.
Marty, didn't nobody vote for this.
Right now, too.
Idiot.
Money to get the repairs done so that they're not tied by the city or frontier of moving their homes. We need these grants and we need transparency around where the grant money is going. Every 10% of bond was announced in 2015. I've been receiving regular calls, emails, text messages from investors who want to buy my property, which I've been in for over 40 years now. I've lived and worked in the community for over 50 years as a nurse. There should be some more support systems in place for long-term homeowners and tenants. It is not right that we are a second priority to investors and people looking to just make money and not be a part of the community. There are a lot of folks who've been displaced from Woodlawn, whose rents have gone up because of investors who jack up the prices, and this makes people unable to afford to live in the community anymore. This is also led to a lot of people doubling up in someone else's home or moving to other places, such as South Shore. This has been a traumatic experience for the community. A lot of times we have 2 generations living in one home, and displacement and gentrification means the new units that are being built have only been built suitable for occupancy by 1 to 2 people. We need to stop this cycle of instability and displacement by passing the South Shore TGA ordinance. And in closing, I want to point out that in the last election, there was a referendum in 2 precincts of 7 wards where over 77% of the residents voted yes for South Shore TGA. What I'm telling you today is felt by many people in South Shore, so I urge you to support the South Shore TGA ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments. Our next speaker is Michael Young Day.
Come on now.
It's $70 million. $70 million. And not counting past millions of dollars that this city done approved of, and the state, and the county, and the federal. $70 million. Y'all won't even put $1 million in one neighborhood. $1 million in one neighborhood. Brandon Mayor Johnson, you say that you for the children, etc., you for the youth, you want to have a work program for the youth, etc. Well, $1 million for these work programs, for these children. See, I'm not going to address nobody in the room no more. I'm going to just address you whenever this is city council. Because I gave you a hard drive of what me and my family has experienced as far as the discrimination against me and my child and my wife. You know, that comes from places like the Sacred Foundation. That comes from All Chicago. That comes from Bring Chicago Home. You see, that come for these ministers that y'all have. You know, if you go look on French Chicago on site, you see all them reverends and things like that. They got all these nice churches in these neighborhoods. Nice mega churches. And our people home. And I don't even want to say our people home, because some people, we gotta be honest. They do let their stuff go. They do live up in trash, etc. And willingly of their own will. But what about the faith? All right, what about 79th Street? See what I'm saying? What about the faith? What about 71st Street? What about all these different streets with these abandoned buildings, with these empty lots? And then the churches come up and try to buy these lots. That's why I say to the people, come up out of her. Come up out of them. That's why I said, come up out of there. The snake is no good. It don't matter who they put at the head. He ain't running nothing. We got to be honest about this situation. I'm still going to talk to you. I'm still going to call you out. I'm still going to say the names. And then I'm coming down here fighting about me and my family housing and being discriminated and retaliated against, and I get attacked at Grand Mitchell.
Wow.
But, you know, and I still been trying to come here to be humble and things like that, and give the honors and respect and things like that, but y'all ain't trying to hear that. So now I'm going to press these charges, and I'm going to do this lawsuit.
Okay.
I'm not going to play with y'all, I told y'all. And I got proof, I got evidence, I got the video of me at the unit, hard drive, etc. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like the young baby to the beat. That keep saying, thank you very much for your time.
Our next speaker is Kirby Taylor.
Hello, and thank you for taking my public comment. My name is Kirby Callan, and I'm an organizer in the 32nd Ward, where I focus on expanding public access to mental health care, housing, and public safety. I'd like to start my comment by addressing the Godzilla in the room, and by that, of course, mean affordable housing. The Finance Committee endorsed the proposal for $1.25 billion for affordable housing in the next 5 years. So much of life as a Chicagoan these days is defined by the transient nature of constantly moving every year or two because you can no longer live in the community you want to place roots. And so we need to build affordable housing. Let's borrow money, let's cut some states and build more affordable housing units across the city with speed and safety. I also want to address the substitute order to change the future of ShotSpotter to a ward-by-ward basis. We cannot do this. We need to cancel the ShotSpotter contracts and discontinue its use citywide. An overmanaged discretion of ShotSpotter would lead to a patchwork across the city of profiling, oppression, and aggression. If we are truly to believe that policing can fight crime, we don't need to be spending their resources on something that leads to 85% of the time to incidents where there's no evidence of a gun crime, 90% of the time with no evidence of crime at all. ShotSpotter wastes our resources and puts those that are most vulnerable at risk of being profiled and damaged by our police. And I also want to spend time speaking on the migrant funding. This is a crisis across our city, but it is not because of the immigrants, it is because of our lack of allocation of resources. This migrant crisis is a resource crisis, and we need vast resources to protect our new community members. 70 million. Hey, you can find it as much as you want, but it's true. These are our neighbors. These are now part of our community. Immigrants are a basis for our future of the city. Ever since the beginning to now, immigrants are the lifeblood of the city. We need to support them, not just in 70 millimeter, but to address the future of this city. We need investments in affordable housing, public access to mental health care, so that these people are protected and ensure that they can live in Chicago in a community that is vibrant, and not only that, connections within the community. 70 million dollars is a great way to start the ground up. It's possible for us to spend enough on migrant funding. It is not possible for us to spend it's not possible for us to spend too much. We're spending too little. Let's expand the money for migrants. They need our support. They're not going anywhere. We're welcome to see we're going to stay that way. So let's
See you in November.
Thank you. That's my
That's me.
For our next speaker. For our next speaker, I would respectfully ask that again, that those that are participating in democracy allow our speakers to finish their presentation. If you cannot adhere to that expectation, I'm going to ask that our Sergeant at Arms remove you. Give our speakers the respect that they deserve. 3 minutes.
Go ahead.
You may 3 minutes.
Good afternoon, Mayor. Good afternoon, everybody here. My name is Richard, last name is Paso. I'm a store manager at an automotive facility here in Chicago. I'm a native to Chicago. It's near and dear to my heart. The city doesn't feel the same anymore. There's a lot of stuff going on right now that's really hard to process. There's a lot of people here that have watched me on social media. I'm a social media influencer. I've heard the word getting back to me. Some of the people that work for you have gotten stuff back to me. I'm going to say what I have to say regardless. You can come after me if you want. You can try to slander me if you want. Some of the aldermen can talk behind my back if you want. But there's 31 out of 50 aldermen, December 14th, that turned their back on the public, that said, I will not take their vote on this city continuing to be a sanctuary city. You turned it to yourself to speak for us. You turned it to yourself to speak for the public. We pay you, you work for us.
Yes.
How can you stand there and say anything about, we don't want to take their vote? We're going to speak on their behalf, and this is how it's going to be. It shouldn't work that way. Any politician that feels like they deserve that type of control over people, they don't deserve to be politicians. They don't deserve to be in the spot that they're in.
Yes.
Second of all, I'm a veteran. I served 15 months in a war zone for this country where
Yes.
I got hurt. Yes, the VA does take care of me. But every year I'm hearing, let's take away, let's take away, let's take away, let's give back, let's take away, let's give back. But we have immigrants that serve with us, that put their life on the line, that are still fighting for citizenship, that are in the military, that deserve all the respect in the world, and they don't get it.
Right.
They come back, they're still fighting for citizenship. Some of them don't get it, they get deported.
Yeah.
These are people that put their life on the line for this country, for all of you to have the freedom and the jobs that you have, and they don't get the respect to have somebody care for them and help them through the process. But all of you guys out here will vote for people that are complete aliens to this country, that have nothing.
Yes.
Venezuela, anything coming from the Dominican, not Dominican, Honduras, all these people are coming here. They've cleared out these prisons years ago. And they're sending all these people here. They don't want them there. They don't serve them a purpose. They're showing up here in New York, in Chicago, attacking people in the streets. The police are fighting with them in the shelters that you guys are funding.
Yes.
You guys think it's a great idea, but yet your police officers are getting attacked.
Right.
Your public's getting attacked. You're putting our lives at risk by doing what you're doing, and none of you care about it because the mighty dollar sits on top.
Yes.
And when somebody's in your pocket that you're working with, you're okay with doing it. You don't care about the citizens. At some point in time, there's going to be an answering for this. What
Yes.
is it? I don't know. But it doesn't look good. And I don't respect most of the people that are in here because you turned your back on the citizens and you said, your voice doesn't matter.
My man. My man. Yes.
The homeless, what is it, HMIS, the homeless management information system. So my number would have been 355061. That would have been issued July 15, 2021. We financed that. And that's right, the HMIS, that's financed and budget, right? Because this is what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about finance and budget. However, I'm an individual in the room. One individual. Y'all mismanaging this sales action. Because once again, July 15th, 2021 is July, what is it now? Anybody, April 17th. I didn't sleep last night worrying about this. I didn't sleep last night. How do you talk to these people to have them understand that, hey, This is difficult to deal with, especially when you're a 43-year-old resident of the city of Chicago versus being somebody who just got here, who being treated just like you should be treated.
Yes.
Right? I'm just saying. So yesterday was my son's birthday. If I had housing, we could have spent it pleasantly. I didn't speak to him. His name was Ian, walked over, I seen him. I actually have an order of protection. His mom got it. My son is a star pupil and a star athlete in Evanston High School. However, his father supported him to the utmost. And yet I'm attacked over this. I'm attacked maybe because of my views and the fact that, to point out that our government, our city government, now that I understand, has to basically turn their back on Black Chicago.
Yes.
Y'all are implementing our demise here in the city through financing and budgeting. I sit in a room and actually get the understanding now. And it's disgusting. The hardship that I'm suffering and been suffering, it seems like it's not only unintentional, it seems like it's manufactured. Like I've been pursued for the last 4 years simply for my views or simply for pointing out the fact that I'm not getting nowhere. We talk about, let's repair it. But you could have put 70 million into this mission. 600 million in Illinois alone. 275 million more. This year counted 150 million. My HMIS number is 355061. How did y'all drop the ball for so many years on one individual?
Wow.
But y'all coming to budget and finance, y'all coming to budget and finance the demise of Black Chicagoans here. That's what y'all budgeting and financing. Y'all whittling us out, and y'all doing it in such a gracious fashion. Y'all representing us as y'all do it. This is what y'all doing.
Our next speaker is Fred Eastland.
Good afternoon to the city of Chicago. I am P. Ray of the 37th Ward. Chicago Red is our organization. Because we started this session with a prayer, I want to start my comment with a scripture. 1 Timothy 5:8 says, "But if any provide not for his own, and specifically for those of his own house, he hath denied the faith and is worse than an infidel." I want to talk to y'all today about not going to hell. In the 37th Ward, there was a family, the Jones family. Amarie Jones was standing in her family building that they've owned for 40 years, doing the TikTok dance with her mother. A bullet came through the window, hit her in the neck. She fell to the ground in front of her mother and bled to death. A month ago, on the Chicago Mugshot page, her mother was on that page. Her mother had on her daughter's Rest in Peace t-shirt. She washed it so many times that it was completely faded out. She was completely hacked out of her mind, and the charge was possession. Now, the first $51 million that this council gave to the migrants came from an opioid settlement fund. I am here on behalf of the Jones family, on behalf of the 37th Ward, on behalf of Black Chicago, on behalf of the entire city, to ask you all to vote no and put that money back in the opioid settlement fund. We need that money in my neighborhood. We need that on my block. That woman should not be at Cook County Jail because she is grieving over a random act of violence that caused her to lose her child in front of her face, when the city of Chicago has millions upon millions upon millions of dollars to give to people who ain't paid a dime in taxes. We've been in my building for 52 years. We got to pay some more taxes. The Jones family has been in their building for 45 years, paying taxes every year on time. So I'm asking y'all to use our tax money for our people. We need it. We got people leaning, we got people rocking, we got overdosing, we got passed out lines. You live on the west side of Mayor Johnson, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We need the money for us. We need opioid treatment on the west side of Chicago. We are the headquarters of the cartel, and everybody here knows it. They selling those drugs, and the law can allow y'all giving money back to them because they traffic those people up here, so we pay them going and coming. Absolutely not. We pay too much. has too much money to live in this city, help Wanda Jones. Help every other grieving mother who feels like she has to go get high to get over the loss of her child. This is a woman who lived in that house. She still sleeps in that living room where her daughter passed out and bled to death. So I'm asking y'all to say no, put these people on the back burner, and put the money back in the opioid fund. Thank y'all.
Thank you for your comment, Mr. Easley. The next speaker is Mr. Denzel Dillard. The next speaker is Mr. Denzel Dillard.
Good afternoon. I come here for a different perspective. I come here to give you praise. I hope to soften the blow here. I think I've been sitting here, after being evicted, after all the turmoil that I'm going through. I'm here to say thank you. I think you're doing a great job, despite the disparities that's going on within our community. Shucks, I don't care what mayor was here, it wouldn't be done. But more importantly, I'm here too, so that you know that I'm a struggling young man. I've always continued wanting to work for your administration. My goal is to get higher. I believe in your ambition. I believe in the hope of the city. And I see where your administration is going. I want to be a part of the process. Even if I do not work for your administration, or hope to be hired for some job for the city. And one of the reasons that I think, Lord, that I'm here, because a lot of people don't think that I'll be hired. They think that I won't be helped by you. They think that things can happen, to good people. I believe it. I believe it. And my goal is hopefully to work with the administration, work for the city, and hopefully to even soften the blow. Because I see so much here. I always want to pray for this environment, because I do not let anyone steer me wrong, just like you do. No matter what the bickering, the hollering, because I adore and I appreciate this whole administration, this whole body, even the people, even that's behind. And just like this, I want to be an asset to the city and to your administration, or to some working inside the administration. I just want to thank you, and I just want to say this very quickly. Lord, I want to thank you for this moment that you gave us. Lord, I want you to continue to bless our city. Lord, bless the people that surround us, Lord. Give them what they need, Lord. Come on, this spirit, Lord. You can never separate. Lord, I want to thank you for what you're doing, for what you've done, and the thing that's going to be down and restored over our lives, and the city will be great with our help and assistance. I thank you in Jesus' name, amen. Love you, Mayor.
The next speaker is Jessica Jackson.
So, Christmas is coming early this year. We're gonna check that list. When you go up on that wall for voting, we're gonna check it twice.
Oh, yeah.
And we're gonna find out who's been out here at night. Based on how y'all vote. And we're gonna start it off with Maria Hack. Yeah. All right. That would be Maria Hack. Stepping out there, I see you. Don't get sarcastic because we can get jiggy, right? Oh. You sit up here for that first 51 million, talking about how you feel about black people and how you have to have the same energy for black people, and you ain't never stood on this floor talking about money for black people. You get on this floor and talk about black and brown because you somewhere in the middle with it, right? But I tell you this, and I'm telling every other black alderman in here today, you vote for the money for these immigrants today, and we're coming for them seats. We're gonna stop pimping the black people's plight to give brown people, as y'all call it, money. You're gonna give us our press conference up there on the 3rd floor, keep talking to the mayor's boy with the clink clink from his past. That's why he gotta do what the mayor say do. Him and a lot of other ones in here with these shady past. That's why you gotta vote the way that you vote. But all of us ain't got shady past. Some of us free out here. And we can vote how we wanna vote. And we coming for those seats. Now, to align yourself with somebody who's obviously a one-term mayor, if he even makes it that far, you better be worried about your job. You better be worried about your longevity. Because we're gonna vote and we're gonna get you out. Because you ain't doing right by us. That's the time it is. And for your law person that's next to you, I'm gonna need you to check out that federal charge that I got against those public administrators so they're for messing with black people's property. It's federal case number 23CB14590. All right? And on that note, if y'all don't give us our money for the black community, know this. We get ready to file a federal injunction against City Hall for benign neglect to the south side and west side. Thank you for your comment, Ms. Jackson. The next speaker is Ms. Sarah Thomas Lena.
Hello, my name is Sarah Tomas Lenda, and I'm a community organizer with Asian Americans Advancing Justice Chicago, and I live in the 5th Ward. I'm calling on City Council to approve $70 million in funding to support new arrivals until the end of the year.
She's another one of those that's for the immigration stuff. I knew that whenever she walked up and started talking to the other guy that was.
In addition, we have been part of the Bring Chicago Home campaign and Stop Shop Spotter Coalition, as well as advocacy for long-term solutions like treatment, not trauma. The common thread in what you have heard today is our anger in a broken system that we must reimagine together. It's the system that maintains generational disinvestment in communities of color across Chicago, and this is what prevents our city, one of the richest cities in the world, from paying a little bit more into the public safety net system while schools and mental health clinics.
Yeah, she got a crew over there. There's a bunch of.
Food prices, rent, and childcare
She got a
costs
crew
rise,
over there.
and thousands of our neighbors continue to sleep on the streets. The common thread here is systemic racism, and these disinvestments have kept communities of color down for generations. This systemic racism has also blocked any positive action on immigration from Congress for almost 40 years. Immigrants are simply not a priority in the federal system. And so I want to speak today to urge you to vote on Friday for $70 million, which will be pulled from city reserves, not from any sort of funding to support individuals impacted by the opioid epidemic. In addition to those $70 million, we also need to start thinking about long-term solutions to fund affordable housing and economic development that will benefit all Chicagoans.
In your pocket.
So, on Friday, this council will have that opportunity, and I urge you to vote yes to borrow $1.25 million over the next 5 years and to make economic security a reality for more of
It's
our
billion.
neighbors. In addition, I would like to urge council to vote against the order that calls for alders to be able to choose whether to remove ShotSpotter technology on a ward-by-ward basis, and also calls for any decisions related to violence prevention funding to be brought to the Public Safety Committee and to a full City Council vote. We reject the intention and the outcomes of this order and support Mayor Brandon Johnson's decision to cancel the contracts with ShotSpotter citywide. Chicago has long been a welcoming city, and we are committed to ensuring that it remains that way. We are facing a challenging moment, but it's nothing we haven't faced before. Thank you.
The problem is wasted. I guess you can hear it. Problem is wasted. Look at what's been coming to China. All these people are sitting here, they're a member of one party, Democratic machine. These black ones do not have our interests. They work for the masters. These big-headed white men run this system. Man, you can't say run it. And I was looking around and said, well, how many white women do they have here? You know, doing something. The white woman didn't like that. Because she couldn't vote, and she was like a subject to a big white man. So, look in here, I don't see many white women here. I wanted to. So the problem here in Chicago is racism. Nepotism, corruption, a one-party system. These big-headed white men run this. This big-headed man doesn't run this.
Okay.
These black officers, they don't have no power. Who creates this corporate America? Who runs corporate America? These big-headed white men. Now, you can be in denial. Now, look at it. Over there, Peggy, right here. Look at that while I'm talking. Young lady, sit down. Sit down. Tell her to sit down. Tell her. Tell her to sit down. So, wait a minute. You don't like this? I'm going to tell you. I'm educating you. I'm informing you. I'm enlightening you. These big-head white people that enslaved us brought us here. Now they're giving money to another people. Are they nappy, Pam, big nose, thickness, and a black booty hole like that? No, they're not. And they're giving millions and millions of dollars to them. Can't you see how arrogant she is? When I told her to be seated, she goes, stand up and go, you work for us. That's right. Sit down, man. Be respectful. We don't serve you.
Mr. Blakemore, please stay in the microphone so we can hear you.
Something is mighty wrong here, sir. We're still on the white man's plantation. And I urge black people to be selfish. A selfish people. Self-preservation is the first law of nature. Focus on you. And they're giving millions. They're showing you better than they can tell you. They're showing you by giving. They're not giving no money to them. These big-headed white men. Yes. We're still on the plantation. We're still on the plantation.
No further speakers.
Thank you.
Respect her. Let her sit down. Deputy told me to tell her to sit down. Tell her to sit down.
I need you all to stop shouting. This is now your second warning. You are my representation. We appreciate you participating in democracy. But I would ask that you also display some decorum. All right, resolution. Before we move forward with our resolution, the chair recognizes Alderwoman Lee who wishes to make an announcement. Alderwoman Lee.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, and I move for the temporary suspension of rules that I may acknowledge and recognize Sikh Awareness and Appreciation Month.
Hearing no objections, so ordered.
Thank you very much, sir. I want to rise in honor today of Sikh Awareness and Appreciation Month and the profound contributions of the Sikh American community to our city. And I'd like to acknowledge our guests in the chamber today for attending the meeting.
You might not like it, but it's
Get the teaching that we've got. If I may stand, we have Mr. Virginder Singh Mango, Sarman Singh Raju, Shiva Singh Kalsa, Sarwan Singh Raju, Navneet Kaur, Wasim, Balweer Singh Adjourns. April holds a special significance for our Sikh neighbors as it marks the first month of the Guru Nanak Dev Ji, founder of Sikhism, and the establishment of the Khalsa order. These events epitomize Sikh values of truth, service, and equality, values that were represented in the city. For over a century, Sikh Americans have played a vital role in Chicago's growth and prosperity, despite being the fifth largest religious community in the world, with approximately 25,000 Sikhs residing in the greater Chicago community alone. Sikhs continue to be one of the population's most vulnerable to hate crimes. According to the most recent FBI report on hate crimes, Sikhs still remain the second most targeted group in the nation for religiously motivated hate crimes. And it's our collective duty to stand against all forms of discrimination, echoing the Sikh founding principles of egalitarianism and respect for all. By officially recognizing April as Sikh awareness and appreciation month, we reaffirm our commitment to fostering religious diversity, tolerance, and understanding in our city. I extend my deepest gratitude to the Sikh American community for both their tireless efforts in shaping the city and their tireless insistence that we can and should do better than one another. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Alderman Lee. Please, thank you. Thank you for your day. Thank you for that recognition. Alderman Robinson has also asked that we take a moment for another acknowledgement. The chair recognizes Alderman Lamont Robinson.
Mayor, thank you very much. As part of this legislative body, it's an honor to introduce a resolution commending the Chicago Bar Association. This organization has been a leading advocate for changes to significant parts of Illinois law, including participation in 2 constitutional conventions, one in 1920 and the other in 1969, and in passage of Illinois Constitution in 1970. The Chicago Bar Association, since its inception, has been dedicated to serving vulnerable population. This association has made waves and changes throughout its history. It was a main proponent of establishing a juvenile court, protecting millions of our children from being lost in the adult penitentiary system. Currently, CBA is operating numerous programs that benefit the public, including law at the library, calling a lawyer, and lawyers in the classroom, all of which serve residents of Chicago and provide legal resources for free. I would like to again congratulate the Chicago Bar Association on its 150th anniversary, and thank you for your contributions in molding our legal system for the betterment of the citizens of the city of Chicago. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Alderman Robinson. Thank you. Congratulations. I believe the rules have already been suspended, but just to set for the exercise, and I appreciate both Alders Lee and Robinson for those recognitions. So now we have a couple of resolutions commemorating the life and the legacy of Cook County Clerk Karen Yarbrough. We are celebrating Arab American Heritage Month, and we are honoring the Lesbian Disability Week.
What?
Thank you very much. Hearing no objections, so ordered. In the interest of time, we will forego the reading of these resolutions, and we will go straight to city council members who wish to make remarks regarding these resolutions. Our first resolution, again, is commemorating the life and the legacy.
It's like the
Cook County Clerk
Joe Biden.
Karen Yarbrough.
What was it, Easter Day? With the whole, this is going to be LGBTQ Day now. It's not going to be Easter Day.
Recognizes Alderman Rodriguez.
What the hell, man? Look, we all don't got to have the same views, but shit's getting ridiculous.
Memorializing a giant Clark Queen. While she did not live in the city of Chicago, she was very influential to everything that happened here. We set up the executive committee with the Cook County Democratic Party together, and I got to learn up front and personally what a force Karen Yarbrough was. It wasn't a day that went by in our proceedings where she didn't fight for her community, but fight for equity and justice for all of us. Her loss.
I spoke already. You gotta go back and watch the video again.
And I very humbly say
You gotta wait for it to load and then you can go back and watch it.
that our society, our county, is so much better off for having our clerk, Yarbrough, serve our community for such a long time.
Johnson just said we need to have a lesbian visibility week. Lesbian visibility week.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Recognizes Alderman David Moore.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wish we could have taken the time personally to read that resolution. I know it's time sake, but she was more and worse at times. I haven't gotten copies.
Lesbian Visibility Week.
But I will say this, personally for me, over the past 15, 16 years that I've known her Yarbrough, we mainly just saw each other, then hug each other off, and loved on one another. It was more through her cool husband Henderson, who I was mayor, former Mayor Henderson, that I would see, and just like, man, the way you loved on that woman was just something to behold a man to see in terms of the way you all love on one another. And that's the epitome and excellence of black love. But it was the end of February, the middle of February, the end of March, that we spoke on the phone almost every day. Over that last 2 years, we never talked like that. And it's not that because we didn't care, we just did it, just when we saw each other. But from the mid-February to March 20th, which was the last day I spoke with her, she was still, we had no...
Read the title and you'll figure out what this is. If you're asking what this is, then you probably didn't pay attention.
In our community. And when I think of her Yarbrough, I think of that name, Karen, kind. And for the first time, we sometimes use that name, the word kind, interchangeably with nice. They're two very different words. When you're kind, you're willing to make waves when something isn't right, especially when people are being mistreated. When you're kind, you're most concerned with doing what is right and willing to speak up and take a stand. Nice people never want to rock the boat. Her Yarbrough rocked it, and she did it with tact and class. And so her name itself, if you look it up, means pure, which points out to the wonderful innocence of childhood and the loving, pure nature a baby embodies. That was her spirit. Because she lived up to her name, because I know unequivocally she had a personal relationship with God, she is resting in purity. To this family, to all of her friends, to the staff at the county clerk's office, you all are in our prayers not only today, but continuously. And for me personally, whether it's picking up a room, whatever I do, I've told you that, big or small, I'm here. I'm going to be checking in on you. God bless you, and I will keep you all in prayer. Thank God. Thank you so much for sharing her with us. God bless you.
Thank you, Alderman. The chair recognizes Alderman Eric Curtis.
Thank you, Mr. President. I too have support this resolution. I want to give my condolences to the family I've known Karen for, oh my God, almost 30 years. She's always been a person with integrity. She joked around a lot, but she was serious. She was really serious about the changes that she wanted to make, not only in her community, but for the entire county and the state. Her life has been really awesome. I know I call her
a lot of times, for advice. She will always answer. And she didn't answer, she would definitely, always give a person a call back. So, again, with heavy heart, earth has no sorrow, of course, the heaven can't heal. So, we're standing here with you and this family. Thank you so very much for bringing her to us. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Alderman. Are there any other alders that wish to speak? Chair recognizes Alderman Pat Dowd.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm too proud to be associated with this resolution. And to the family and friends of Cook County Clerk Karen Yarbrough, on behalf of the residents of the 3rd Ward, we extend our sympathies and heartfelt sympathies to you on your loss. I didn't know Karen for a very long time. I did serve with her as a member of the Cook County Democratic Party. When I joined the executive board for a very short time, she was someone that I looked to because I really didn't know what I was doing. And she was kind and thoughtful, strong and assertive, and I appreciated that about her. I admired that about her. She was also an encourager, somebody who would give you some sense of how you should be moving, how you should be thinking about the world of politics, and I appreciated that. I also want to say that when she gave you her word, she backed it up with action. She just wasn't announcing it. She was sincere about her support. She gave it, and I truly appreciated that. Her loss is a great loss to the city of Chicago and to Cook County, and her memory will not be forgotten. And again, I sympathy to you all. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Alderwoman. Are there any other alders that wish to speak to this resolution? Alderman, the chair recognizes Alderman Ray Lopez.
Good morning, and thank you, Mr. President, members of the City Council, and to the Yarbrough family. My colleagues and I join you today, but I would be remiss if I did not also stand up and sing the praises of Karen. I first met her 12 years ago when I was elected Democratic committeeman. And as we've heard, she was, we know she was kind, we know she was loving, but she was a great mentor to everyone that was willing to listen. And I believe that more leaders like her are necessary. Her spirit lives on in all who knew her, not just in this room, but through all of you. All of you who had the pleasure of living with her and seeing all parts of her personality, all parts of her spirit. And as someone who could always count on the truth coming from her lips to my ears, and being able to receive it for well over a decade, I like to think that she helped mold me into a better elected official that I had just arrived on the scene, being crazy Raymond Lopez. Her words never fell on deaf ears when they came to me, and that smile was infectious. And for whatever it's worth, she could teach you how to hug a porcupine and still love every minute of it. And that is a rarity in politics. It's a rarity in leadership for someone to be able to be welcoming to all without being divisive, even when you disagree. So thank you.
Yes, I already spoke. You're going to have to go back and watch the video again, or wait for this to load.
And to you, Mr. President, thank you for giving me the opportunity to this body to join in with you to make this sentiment known. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Alderman. The chair recognizes Alderwoman Stephanie Cole.
Thank you, Mr. President. To the Yarbrough family, Mr. Henderson, I'll never forget, before I was elected alderman, we went over to Broadview Baptist Church, and after church, we went to make offers. And I think it was Governor Pritzker's first time having some baked chicken and strutted and macaroni together. And I will never forget having lunch with you all and talking about your love story and the amazing work, not only in Proviso, but the impact that your family has had on the West Side and in Chicago, to Legacy, to Cedric, I don't know how you all did it with Clerk Yarbrough when the Recorder of Deeds office was phased out and having to run a primary, a general, and then having to rerun less than 2 years later. It's so good to see you, Pastor Brooks and First Lady Brooks, and seeing the support for this amazing family that Judge Travis. Clerk Yarbrough was one of the first women to welcome me into Alpha Kappa Alpha. She was one of the first women that I called, and the African American women here at the City Council, will be filing our resolution in addressing violence against Black women here in Chicago. It was Clerk Yarbrough who gave me some courage to address some things happening in the Cook County Democratic Party when I was a little afraid to, and she gave me that extra oomph and that wisdom to expose some things, and it worked out in our benefit in our community. To Mrs. Henderson, to the entire family, the entire clerk's office, thank you for being her grace and mercy, having her back, being that support officer, and sharing her with us in Cook County. An amazing woman, an ivy on the wall, and we are so grateful for her life and her service for 24 years here in Cook County in the city of Chicago. God bless you all, and my prayers and blessings.
Thank you, Alderwoman. Are there any other alders who wish to speak to this resolution? Okay, seeing no other hands, for the final speaker will be Alderman Jason Irvin. The chair recognizes Alderman Irvin.
I met Karen 25 years ago. At the time, I had no idea what impact she would have on me. She literally just walked up to me and said, I need you to come out to Maywood to help. Back then, we tallied up election results on paper, and you didn't have the computers and all of that stuff that we have today. And she asked me to come out and help her with, at the time, Henderson was running for trustee out of Maywood. Just weird, just walked up, hey, come do this. And that began one of the most phenomenal relationships that I've ever had. Karen was like a mother to me. She hugged us when we needed to be hugged. She chastised us when we needed that too. And people talk about, and I was talking to family earlier about this kind Karen. And I would know that as kind Karen. Because Karen was always tough on us because she commanded and expected excellence. She commanded and expected us to do what we were capable to do and what we should be doing. And she taught me about what I call a pragmatic progressivism and was laser focused on everything that she wanted us to accomplish. Not only did she tell us what to do, she worked beside us in doing it. She always told us we can always be better and strive for us to do that. Even in my last conversation with her, it was about an issue around housing and about, didn't I tell you to do A, B, and C? I said, yes. We'll get it done. You don't have time. You think you have time, but you don't. Get it done. I said, yes. The same conversation started about retirement. Like, wow, that's a different one. Unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to finish that conversation. God finished it for us. I love you.
this entire body, this council, we love you, the Yarbrough family. You know, her career as a public servant, state rep, court of deeds, and county clerk, she was a barrier breaker. You know, it's a lot when you have a first black, it's different when you have a first black woman. So I happen to believe that first black woman is the creation of humankind. Throughout her time as a public servant, Karen has passed some of the most remarkable legislation to improve the lives of so many people. Karen fought for social justice, women's rights, accessible health care, fair housing. Efforts are recognized around the globe. Beauty of her leadership is not just defined by how long her legacy will last, because it will last forever. Beauty of Karen is that her love endures. And it certainly endures through you, Henderson Yarbrough, family, friends, faith community. Her indelible contributions will be remembered for generations to come. The entire city of Chicago, though we mourn and we grieve, we have our condolences. Know that the people of Chicago are proud to have served alongside of one of the greatest persons to serve in her capacity. So with that, Alderman Mitchell, I'd like for you to offer up a request here.
I request that we pass this resolution on title vote.
Members, please rise. So as we prepare, I just want to give a shout out to a few folks. Thank you again to Mr. Yarbrough, Vicky, Tammy, Antonio, Carmen, Sarah, Denise, Cheryl, Victor, Michaela, Christopher, DeAndre, Curtis, Keith, her pastor, Darius, Brooks, Tim Curry. Thank you all again. We love you. God bless you. Our next resolution is for Arab American Heritage.
I think I'm gonna go ahead and cut it here. There's a lot of talk going on that there's things you guys don't really want to listen to. I'll go back and record my speech and put it up individually.